Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen, fellow Bethanians, friends of the college. We're here today to do something that has become a tradition for graduating classes over the past 20 years or so, and that is the Clock Tower Tour of Old Main. We are now standing in what is generally referred to as the bell ringer's room. You can tell I'm a little out of breath. If you look out the window, you'll see that we are at the level of the roofing of the building. We're about 50 feet up. The bell ringer would come here and pull ropes to ring the bell, which is in the room directly above us. Over the years, of course, as you can see around you, students and faculty and friends have written their names. And if we were doing this live, you would be able to do that as well. Unfortunately, that will have to wait for another day. Technically, this building is a National Historic Landmark, and so you should not be defacing it in this manner. But at the time it was made a National Historic Landmark, this was already part of the tradition of the building. And so we try to keep the graffiti to this particular room because it has become part of the history and culture and pageantry, really, of the institution. So now we're going to go on up the steps a little ways to the bell room itself. And I think you'll be impressed with what we find there. We're now standing inside the mansard, which is the architectural term for the top part of the tower, which includes the 4 clock faces. When the tower was built, at the time of the building of Old Main, 1858 to 1866, the tower was included, including the mansard, but there was no clock. The clock was not installed until electricity came to Bethany in 1904. And since that time, the clock has intermittently kept the time for Bethanians. When I was a student, all 4 of the clock faces said something different. And so you could never be late for something. You could always use the excuse that, well, I looked at Old Main and the clock said such and such. Then in 1999, or early 2000, I can't remember which, some stones began to fall from the outside of this area, from the walkway, where we'll go in a few minutes. From 100 feet up, that could be very dangerous. So we had to shut down the main entrance to Old Main. You could not go through Old Main in the center. We brought in a crane and we picked up this entire piece, the mansard, from this level right here, where you can see the wood, picked it up, moved it over and dropped it, set it down in the quad. And it was there for almost a year while work was done on repairing the damage and so on. At one point, we were even able to bring in some stone from the original quarry over in Ohio, which was still in business. That's not what you see inside here, obviously, but on the exterior. Then, after about a year, we brought the crane back, we picked up the mansard, and we brought it up and set it back down. I was teaching World Civ that day in Old Main 109, and I stopped about halfway through and I said, that's it. I'm gonna go watch this because it's never gonna happen again in my lifetime, and probably not anybody else's either. So anyway, this is, as I say, called the mansard in the clock room. Unfortunately, the motor is kaput at the moment, so you can't see the working of the gears, but it is synchronized now with a very elaborate series of gears, universal joints, which try to keep all 4 faces of the clock aligned at the same time. Now, for the crowning part of this tour, we're going to go out onto the walkway. Well, that completes our tour of the clock tower. I hope you've enjoyed it. Remember Bethany, and remember your time here.